All right, at Adhiambo with the Y needs to tell us why she actually requested for that song, and maybe if you can do that now, would appreciate that.
Oh God, okay. Yes, this is why, and I know Stevens thinks that it's a girly song.
But it is.
No, it's not. Stevens really, it's about inspiration.
I think it is.
Moving forward.
It's a girly song.
What?
How does a man jump to that?
Joy just betrayed us.
Joy?
Joy just betrayed us and
That's
jumped
not
ship.
betrayal. I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
How
It's
does
not
a
a
man
girl
jump
song.
to
It's
that?
not a girl song. It's sung by a girl, but it's not a girl song. Should have been wearing
It's like a
dress in
woman
that.
empowerment sort of song, you know.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that's about, huh?
It's about rising song. I actually really just like Katy Perry. I think she does really brilliant songs. I also like her other song from Raw. But I think, we just needed to feel, uplifted. So even the other day when we were talking, actually just yesterday, the song that has been done by Tubaba and Sauti Sol, it's also, just uplifting. So we just felt, let's uplift each other.
All right.
Girly or not.
All right, Stevens.
Okay.
And congratulations, I should say, to all the Olympians who took part in the Rio 2016 Olympics. Kenyans first and the rest of Africa. That's a good way to start, right? All right, and so a lot has been said during the Olympics, but for you, I mean, besides Kipchoge and everybody, yeah, who was it for you on the Kenyan team?
On the Kenyan team, the girls.
Exactly.
I think I'm all girl today. Yeah. The Kenyan team, the girls. I think this time the girls just did it for us. I know the boys also did their best, but I think the girls this time were just they're the ones who set the pace, and then we got to follow. Particularly the what's her name, Faith, the one who is also so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
So the three of them, it was almost hard to judge who is the most, gold, silver, and bronze was all looking good. Everything was looking good.
But I still think, for me, it's teamwork, Team Kenya, because when you just look at the things that were happening around Team Kenya and the saga around
The fiasco,
Monk and all that, and just seeing them coming out so victorious and bringing us all that wealth of praises from all over the world. For me, it was Team Kenya, and also back from home, where everybody has stood up with them and said, I mean, whatever happened was wrong, and action should be taken. And I think that's why we should be at this point, that even as we be told about Rio and the team and guys be sent home, and the saga around it, I think it should be more serious than that. Because this also touches on the Olympics Committee, because the team is, I believe, appointed by the Olympics Committee and not so by the government. And I think really the probe should start from the top.
Okay.
For me, it has got to be our flag bearer, Shenza. She's one who did archery. It's one of the most unique. Yes, it's one of the, because we were talking about women, but for me, she's the one who really did it for me.
She's the one who did the...
Yes, the archery, yes. And because it's a very unique game in Kenya, it's not so popular. Just like Yego, who went ahead and represented Kenya on a global platform on games that are so popular, she went ahead and she did this, and I thought it was very phenomenal. We are going to be known more from just our running. So even when you go abroad, guys won't just ask you, oh, do you run? Like, nah, it doesn't happen. But so I think as a woman, So as a woman, I feel like she really represented us there.
All right, the big news that came out, at least towards the end of, I don't know if it was a celebratory sort of thing, or it was like, hello, bye Olympics. That was about Usain Bolt, and he's hanging out, it made quite the headlines. But apparently, his mom thought, he has the freedom to do whatever he wants to do. And hopefully he can get married soon. That's what she's crossing her fingers for. Stevens, tell us about this.
I mean, why should a boy get married soon when he's having fun and all the money in the world?
No,
it's his life. I mean, Bond is just having his life. He's still way young.
30.
His
only 30.
His life is well planned.
30 is only.
When was the last time you saw a man going to retirement at the age of 30, for example? He has everything you need in the world, even women
and 3 gold medals
friends and all that. I mean, the whole thing of boys should get married. Boys should. I think it's female pressure again.
Yeah. It's societal. It's so much.
And when it happens, you're like, oh my God, you got married now. I mean, really. Let a boy have his fun.
No, let's discuss the small matter of the over-partying and the small matter of...
I don't think there's anything like
But what is
I
over-partying?
just think it's pop culture.
At
There's
Solomon
no
Coco,
over-partying.
what is over-partying? You came here with Stanners this morning. Oh, where you slept, huh?
With your Ray-Bans and
Well,
stuff.
my Ray-Ban is nothing about over anything.
Okay.
But I think society just wants to see someone settle down sometimes when you've achieved so much. But a guy has to do what a guy has to do. If you win a nation 3 gold medals,
You party.
break the world record,
Yeah.
and you're happy about your 30th birthday, I think we should just let you be.
Personally, for me, I have no problem with him going out to party.
Yeah.
Like he said,
Yeah.
play hard, work hard. He did us. He did it himself, and he's Jamaican.
played quite hard.
He did, yeah. There was no problem with that. I think people really got annoyed, quote to quote, because I mean it's his life. At the fact that he had to sleep with a 20-year-old girl who said, I did not know that he was...
Did he sleep? I don't think he did.
They just had a normal night.
They took
All right.
photos.
So you know what happens when you go for a conference and, you know, at the end of it all, there's some sort of gala dinner and things. So for the athletes, it was partying. And apparently in Brazil, the party was, everyone was going to the Jamaican side because those guys know
people
how
party
to
hard.
party.
No,
Yeah, yeah, and so,
and
you
they
know,
have some stuff as
it
well
could have been
that people
normal.
could use. Something people could use.
okay.
Something to push on. So
All right, so now let's quickly go through what's making headlines in the Nairobian. The front page of the Nairobian is quite something at Solomon Coco.
Yes.
Yeah, who is this governor who dumped
This
his
is
big drama 3 years ago?
the new governor, and it's almost becoming like a trend that is not a surprise that a politician
Yeah.
will have issues of maintenance and taking responsibility. But now the Nyeri County boss allegedly has this lady who's been complaining since January of this year, of 2013, and saying that he has absconded his responsibilities. So Nderitu Gachagua, who has also been embattled in some kind of way because he's been out of the county.
He is the guy they're trying to impeach, right?
They've also been trying to impeach him as well. He's tried to fight strong, but you also know he's a very wealthy guy as well. So someone says he's not taking good responsibility of what he brought to the world.
His serious feeds are not seemingly...
Maybe he is. Maybe he is, but it's not enough. Maybe, you know?
Yeah.
All right, but then again, I don't know what someone like Zinzi would say about things
Why
like
me?
this. Well, it's picking your brain.
you're very vocal.
I think it's just it takes two to tango. Take responsibility for whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I think we all know starting a family it's a very big responsibility.
Come on,
I wouldn't
does this
know,
guy
but
look like a 30-year-old.
he's
starting a family.
no, he's not. But you see, when he was
It's a tough
starting a
task.
family, when he was doing whatever
No, I
it is
don't
that he
think
was
he
doing,
started the family. It was on continuous...
Yeah,
on
it
continuous
was-
basis, yeah. Every action has a responsibility. So I feel like he should have taken his responsibility. I mean, like I said, what I began with, it takes two to tango. So play your part, I play my part, and make society better.
Let's also note
Okay.
that he's been ailing and he's facing a possible impeachment.
He's
Probably we
ailing.
could cut him some slack.
Do you think that's an excuse for you to slack on your
But that is
responsibilities?
not reason enough, yeah?
It's not.
All right,
Nderitu Gachagua.
on page 12 of the Nairobian, there's a nun who combed a priest's hair, fed him uji for love of the church. Yeah, she went to the church, right? Just a few days ago.
It was so interesting, by the way.
You guys you do read the Bible, so sort of, yeah?
I do read the Bible. Not sort of. I do read my Bible.
Especially
Really?
Love the Lord.
Okay, that's awesome. So you know the story of the alabaster box?
okay.
Of course we do.
Educate you about what happens in the Bible. I don't know the book though. I don't remember. But there's a story in the Bible about a woman who washed Jesus' feet with the alabaster box
That's the
perfume.
alabaster
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wiped
And
it
it's
with
like-
her long
She did that
hair.
with her long hair.
With her long
Yes,
The
and
long
she
locks.
washed, yes, exactly, cleaned his
Yeah.
feet with her hair. So this sort of kind of resonates with that story. The only difference is she was a prostitute in the Bible.
Yes.
This is a nun, and that's what makes the difference. But then you can almost relate to the story about what she did. So that's Bible enough for you, right?
Yeah, but just cool down when you say she was
I
a
loved
prostitute.
it. I actually loved this. I mean, I went to a Catholic school, so yes, I understood how that was happening.
Yeah.
You know, this was her second vow actually, because
Yeah.
she took the first one 25 years ago. And the difference was this time they actually just wanted to bring the traditions into it, because there's a guy who decided, he's not a priest, he's not anything, but he has decided that he will walk, you know, the chastity way and all that. It was really beautiful, and I saw the Kikuyu culture in it. It was
I'm not really
nice.
sure about this whole religious parts or some of the things that they do.
Yeah.
The other day when I was on social media, I saw the Prophet Awor was visiting Nakuru town, and they had
They
to
cleaned the street.
use shower gel to clean the road. Scented shower gel. Scented shower gel.
Yeah, the
to
story
clean
is
the
actually
road because he
in
was
the
going to pass
papers.
there. And I'm thinking some of these actions are barbaric. Don't you think so?
For Prophet War,
That's the
I
norm,
never
right?
understand.
Yani mtumishi wa
people.
Mungu hataki kukula vumbi.
But honestly, Stevens, what do you think about this? Because I don't know, you know, there's washing a street, but there's washing a street with shower gel.
Yeah.
Scented.
I mean, they washed only Jesus' feet. They didn't wash the road he was walking on.
It's very hilarious to me that you would do that. One, I don't know why they do it, because they do it everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
I've always found it funny, and some point actually they got me in Nakuru, and the hotel where we were stayed, guys were actually literally chased at around 8 p.m. because we were told we were making a lot of noise and all that.
It was always
I
a
remember
good
there was rugby
situation.
stuff.
Yeah.
Did you leave?
Sorry?
Did you leave?
Did I leave? Yes, I left.
Did you have go clean the road? Did you have go clean the road?
I saw guys do the cleaning of the road, and I'm just thinking, what is happening here? And they say they want to make Nakuru look different and all that. But I just find it funny. I'm yet to get an explanation from it. Sometimes I just think it's almost an occultic follow, because I don't know if he requests for that, or his followers just decide because prophet is coming and we have to do that.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
It's not significant.
I mean, we read stories like Joy is saying, where Jesus went to very
wash
few
the feet.
places,
Yes.
and he didn't present himself. Oh, now I'm preaching. He didn't present himself like I came here and I am the boss.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bible talks about us being servants of God, and so really, the prophet, I'm really here to get that.
How do we draw that line between you coming out to give service to your church or whatever religious community you come from?
Leading
How do we
the
draw
flock,
that line
let's
between
say.
that and then you worshipping another human being?
yeah.
There's a very thick line. Okay, how do we define that line? Because I mean,
But you know, these stories keep coming up. There's another story, I think, and the picture went viral online, on Facebook and all the other social media platforms, about a preacher who put a loudspeaker on a woman's body, and it was really heavy because, you know, the ushers who carried it and placed it on her, it was about 3 guys, yeah? So he said that her faith is going to make sure she doesn't feel pain.
No.
So that in itself was so traumatizing, and the lady died actually. I don't know where in Kenya, but they say it was a picture from
You can
Kenya.
imagine that. And,
Yeah.
and I believe that's what the government was saying. Also, churches, if they cannot regulate themselves like every other body, then really somebody, the government should come out and regulate these things. We have seen
There
very
should be a
rare
bill.
things.
Astonishing.
probably.
I mean,
I think
honestly,
there
should
should
be
be
a
a bill,
bill, right?
just like the
like the one that has come from the bank.
1,001
yeah, from the
bills.
bank.
Yeah.
I think the president should sign something about churches and and how and who qualifies.
Yeah.
Because some of these actions are, you know, it leaves you wondering what is happening. And who is this person? Are you?
But it's taking advantage
Do you
of
remember? You
the
guys remember
ignorance, yeah?
Wanyonyi,
Yeah.
who died and went to stay with himself?
The God died and went to God. I mean,
All right, and well, I don't want to really pay so much attention to that because at the end of the day, you know, people have something they would like to believe in, but you know, sometimes it just gets bad. It looks bad. And let's go to the pulse now. Sands of crime. Forget the estate and highway silver jewel sporting gangs of Nairobi that we exposed some time back. This time around, it's going down to Mombasa, and these adolescent bloodthirsty gangs are said to be connected to high-profile personalities who could have a hand in narcotic trade. Music groups and other showbiz cartels are also said to be in the mix. Stevens, I'm sure you had a hand in writing this one, and it's a very telling story, actually.
Well,
yeah.
Before we get too serious, the Sons of Crime has nothing to do with a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
You know, that's
She's committing her own crime.
All right.
she's committing her own life.
Crime against Mafisi.
Yeah, but the Pulse is just like very bold about the story that's been in Mombasa this week. I think it was on Tuesday where we heard this teenager shot, and we have had activists coming out and say this is not allowed, and they're saying this has been going on for quite some time. And our writers from Mombasa actually went out to the streets to find out what's been happening.
Yeah.
And what came out is the story, the cover story that Pulse has today. If you're in Mombasa, probably you need to be calling studio and just tell us what's happening, because the writer, who is based in Mombasa and has been there for quite some time, has been following the story about young people and what we are calling young gangs, or allegedly young gangs terrorizing the people of Mombasa. And he has brought quite many names of gangs that are known, even by you know, security personnel and all that, community people who watch over community and stuff like that, who say these gangs have been existing since back 2009, 2007 when the elections were there, until now, and they are known and they terrorize the people. And these are, you're talking about young people who are aged between 11 and 17 all the way to 24, who are known to commit crimes streets and everywhere. And when you see police coming out, and sometimes like what happened there and the arguments that are going back and forth, we just had last month a relative, a young man, a relative of one of the leaders was actually shot, and there was an uproar about the same. And even when the battle was taking place, politics was playing, and I can remember nobody even brought out the story that this guy was also said to be part of the gangs. And the big story from Mombasa should really come out, not in pieces, but in complete, like this guy is trying to say, these gangs exist. We have them in names in the past today, and it's for the people of Mombasa just to tell us the truth, what's happening down there.
That's true. Should we open up the lines and maybe hear from them?
We should.
All right, call us if you can and let us know what you think about these stories there. But you know, there's so many telling stories in Mombasa as well. I don't know how long it took Bernard Sanger to put this together.
This is a story we get to Bernard, actually to the Mombasa Bureau, like almost 2 months ago.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for it. Sometimes it comes and goes back, and we have to say no, commit everybody. And now we have even the police boss talking about it, the community vigilance team talking about it. The residents have talked about it. The young people have talked about it. And we have funny names. I'll just read into Solo here. Wakaliwao. Like, for example, that's a gang called Wakaliwao.
Wakali.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Wakaliwao.
She's the one who asked, not me.
Wakaliwao. I just read a few Wakaliwao. Wakali Kwanza. There's another one called Gaza. There's another called Spanish Sparta. And Vietnam.
Wow.
And so many of them, 60,
I'm sure there's a
64 gangs
Benghazi in there, yeah?
And what they say is that these gangs, it's a group of young people. Sometimes they start like the way you have a football team or a music group of young people, so they're doing something right. And around the way, probably the people who want to sponsor them in terms of guys who are in power, leaders, businessmen, would come and use them as guys who trade drugs and stuff like that. So around the same, a lot of stories.
My worry, Stevens, is this. We are approaching an election year, which this is timely. Kudos to the people who put this together. But every time we are approaching an election year, things like this, I think they actually do come in, and young people are used for the wrong reasons. But it worries me that perhaps they are using the artistic side of things to make it look like it's legit. Because kama wewe ni wakali wao, why I was really listening to that is that you've had names of people who are doing music nicely, and then behind the music there is something else. So when people are having guns instead of using the word to be able to change things, that for me is so chilling.
Two things for me
Right, yeah,
from that
Zinzi.
story is that one, it's true. You know, music and art is supposed to be there to, you know, nurture talent as well as remove the youth and the young people from such acts. And the thing is, according to the figures that Solo has given, these are teenagers and young people. These are the youth. Yeah, it's a bit heartbreaking, and I hope that even after that expose has been done, something will be done about that. But I must say, it's come so timely also because this morning I was actually having a conversation with one of our colleagues, one of the drivers here within our newsroom, and he told me this was happening sometime back in Westlands, right here in Nairobi. So it's something that is a culture that is hidden there. It's happening within our own streets. But what does that call us out on society? Do we need to do something about this? Because as I began by saying, these are teenagers and young people, and they're using music, something that is supposed to be there.
17.
Exactly.
What happens is, I
Solo.
actually experienced something about it sometime last year at the coast, and
You attack?
no. I just saw you happen. But what happens is this criminal gangs are coming from different estates. These are very talented kids in different genres. You know, there's some who are artistic, some are very creative, some are business oriented, some are craftsmen. You know how it is in Mombasa.
Yeah.
But they feel a need of protecting a turf, and eventually now it develops into this, and they become they create the gangs because they want to protect each other and where they belong. It's very serious. It's happening everywhere, even in Nairobi. But I think the serious of Coast is quite something to watch.
But why are music groups being caught up in the mix? For what gains? These high-profile
These are
personalities.
just artistic guys. These are just guys who have talent. It's not about music. It's not about what profession. These are even kids who are in universities and colleges and practicing different things. We cannot sum it up to they do music and that's why they're like this. No, it's just a creative.
I think the
gang
creativeness
of
is a
talent.
camouflage
Yeah.
of anything else
Exactly.
that you could have, isn't
Exactly.
it?
And then the influence and the peer pressure.
I agree,
Okay.
and the issue of Nairobi was young people, like, was peer pressure because everyone wants to get rich. Not to be quoted, there are even guys who would pull business like matatu businesses. They're thriving very well, like right now in Nairobi, and they would have started like this. No quotes. Mombasa's issue has been one, guys don't like school a lot. That's one, and two, you find a place where you can.
Isn't that a stereotype that they don't like school much?
They don't
They
go
go
far.
to the beach.
They don't go far. Their school could be street school.
They go to the beach.
And
Okay.
what I'm saying, without offending Nairobi guy, I mean Mombasa guys, is that there's a lot of influence when you hear of stories of drugs and drug dealers, the guys who actually hold the money and run live in Mombasa. If you get yourself in a place where unasikia kuna tamaya youth, and then that's where you go, and slowly you get yourself into this system, and like Solo is saying, they protect given hoods, and you're told you have to protect your people, and so find a way of protecting your people, and it's a very innocent move. Before you know it, you're already in the street saying this matatu should not cross here, and you're already slashing people. And what the writer says is that the problem is residents don't want to come out and speak about this because you're scared that you'll be a victim of the same, and something happens. And that's why even parents, he says, they are filling corridors of courts, try to get their kids out because they want to protect their kids, and probably they don't even know what happens behind their backs. And it's just a real telling story.
So security is
Wow.
also an
All
issue.
right.
Yes,
I
yes.
think we need to take that conversation now broadly, but not today. I wish we had more time to talk about this. But then again, Mombasa is still the place that has some of the best beaches,
Yes.
not just in
and the
Africa,
best
but
clubs.
around the world. So
The best what? Beach?
Clubs.
You, of course, you know.
I don't know about the
Or
clubs.
beaches and clubs.
Joy, actually, we had
About the clubs, why don't you try?
clubs are
Malin?
cool.
last weekend we had one of the biggest extravagances that happens across Kenya, and it was in Mombasa. So again, stories that
Solo
in
was
past
present.
still. And Solo was actually
was
there.
present.
Think about it.
Okay,
You're
all
flying
right.
like crocodile.
Let's move on. That probably explains so much about him today. Kalechi Mumo quit radio. I'm sure you've talked about this before, but she's moving on now.
Yes.
And there's that spread in the pulse as well
Yeah.
about her.
About-
She turned 40 earlier this year, yeah?
Yeah,
and she lost
did.
40
She did.
kgs as well.
And she's looking nice.
And she's
Yeah.
looking
She's
different,
looking
you know,
awesome.
like
Oh, yeah.
pretty and
Yeah.
of course she used to
She's
like
one of the
looking.
most
She's gonna get someone
hardworking
now.
media
Okay,
person.
Well, then she's
What do
gonna
you
get
mean?
someone now.
Yeah, she's gonna get someone.
That's not my story. That's
I
not
think
what
she didn't get
my
someone.
story
She
is.
said the reason why she even lost the weight wasn't because
Some
of
people
that.
are scared of responsibility, and when it's a huge responsibility.
Isn't that true?
Now it's nice package. I think
Is he
I thought that
sure about what he's saying?
Okay.
Okay, guys, the story about Kalechi is a story which is known to. We know just now about her turning 40
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
getting 40, but the story is about how she left her workplace.
Yeah, yeah.
And many stories that came out that probably she was pushed out, probably she had issues with some guys there, and we just engaged Kalechi, and the story basically today centers on that and our way forward. And she says, well, the guys to get the paper
Yeah,
to
they
read.
need to get your paper,
I'm not
yeah.
giving that
Yes.
out, but again, talking about so many things about things Solo is talking about. I'm ready to move on in life,
Yeah.
get married,
Yeah.
make kids, and stuff like that.
It's no longer a
It's a
huge
choice.
responsibility.
Ademba, what are you saying?
It's like, it's no longer a
which
huge
thing?
responsibility.
But we will miss her on radio.
So really-
I personally miss her on radio.
Right.
I personally really miss her on radio. I mean, I already got hooked within the morning show because now Adele does it with
Yeah.
Shafi.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna miss
She
her on
had
radio.
something, yeah, she's very good.
Her
Well,
personality is
that
just-
gives you an opportunity as well to tap into that space, yeah, the gap that she's left
Talking
behind.
about radio, we have pretty a
The
lot
radio
of
sweethearts, yeah.
radio
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
in the past today. So I think you have options still. If Kalechi doesn't come back, we have the likes of Mwende and
So when you talk about sweethearts and you only give us the ladies, it means
Where
that
are they?
sweethearts
What does that mean?
is
No,
to
no,
the
we're
ladies
talking
and
too
not
much
to the
about
guys.
men, because most men who do radio have good voices and not faces to look at. But the ladies,
Okay, so not
these
today.
are
You
the
really
kind of
are.
ladies you want to see. Yeah.
What did Solo have today is just cray-cray.
I mean, this is just from our readers, and that's what they gave us back.
So they didn't
Okay.
do men
But
because
I-
this is unfair.
But we are not unfair because the pulse is always balanced, and we also give you something else for the girls.
Yeah. Oh, Zimzi.
So these are
Zimzi.
isn't that? So
Yeah. This page.
Is that Majid that I'm seeing on the left side of
this is this
this
is
side.
Jamal.
This
Jamal?
is
No,
Jamal
on
just
this
got
other
his baby
side.
on Monday.
On this other side.
And this side.
You know the
Mr.
Majid
Kenya.
I'm talking about,
Yes,
right?
Mr.
Kenya.
Kenya.
Mr.
Yes,
Kenya.
yes.
The Ghanaian
Zimzi
actor.
again.
Is that the Ghanaian actor on the side?
No, these are Kenyans. This is all us. And
Yeah.
All right,
you
just
see-
so
look at
you
Zizi
know,
now.
the
And so
Ghanaian.
radio sweethearts,
That's why I'm laughing.
radio sweethearts,
Yeah, you see my
and
neck.
men, ladies will always grow over. And so it's for you to
Okay.
grab the past.
I
I,
like-
think we're just giving you a month-end salary.
I like the
Stevens.
fact that you balanced it. We have sports, we have politics, we have musicians.
Yes.
It's well
There is no
balanced.
comedy though.
Sorry?
Stevens,
There's a lot of comedy because we have Chipkizi as our
Stevens, just
No
look.
yellow.
Oh no, come on.
yellow.
No,
you know where he comes from.
Yeah.
He's in the show. He's on his way to Uganda right now, and tomorrow he has a
Okay.
big show actually at Kenya National
Oh,
Theatre.
that's nice.
But he's
That's
going
really
to represent
cool.
Kenya in a very big comedy, Africa comedy in Uganda. And so yeah, I think we are well balanced. I just showed you the cover
front
girl.
and
Oh,
the
the cover girl is the one.
And many other stories,
The
including
balancing.
Okay, Stevens.
Balancing
I think
everything.
the next time Solo needs to come with your oomph and the way in which you're selling the stories in the pulse.
No?
All right,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. But then about Majid, the pun was intended. So I'm going to let you look away from the camera to your left side. Yeah, that's Majid. That's
You know.
Okay.
That's Majid.
All right.
All right. See, now that's the face we should have had in the pulse.
That's true. That's true.
No, we have
That
it
is
there.
so
We have
true.
it there.
You know what? We always have these every Friday.
Every
This
Friday.
Facebook.
All right.
This is
Okay.
for other. Okay.
Well, Majid is in studio and he's going to be telling us why he's here in Kenya and why you need to know about him as well. He is, some people call him the Nicolas Cage of Africa. Yeah, but is he?
Is it people
Oh, yeah.
or just all just?
You've watched
Zizi,
you've
Zizi,
watched
Zizi,
Ghanaian
Zizi,
movies, right?
It's hot topic.
Yeah.
Don't even pretend that
let's-
you've not
let's-
watched these movies, okay? You've watched them. Every
true.
one of them airs every day on KTN.
No, we are happy he's here.
Yeah.
And he'll be a pin-up next.
That's a promise, right?
At least you can have a screenshot and use it on your phone. Really? Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, we're expecting Damon as well in studio, and hopefully we can as well get to talk to him.
Can I,
He's in town, right?
he's in town and a lot of happening, even up to this morning.